courage to the test, laid all your doubts to rest.
Hi everyone, from your Intuition Queen, and welcome to a new episode of Intuitive Queens podcast. So today I want to talk to you about colors. I want you to tune in into your inner rainbow. So what do I mean by this? I'm not going crazy. So as you know, I do color therapy. And the reason why I do color therapy is because I've always been extremely attracted by bright colors. And some of you know, some of you can actually see it on what I share. But there is a correlation between color therapy and colors and how they affect our body, our perception, our mind, and our feelings, and how they're all interconnected. So I guess the easiest example that I can give you is talking about the chakras. As you know, all the chakras are energetic point in our body, and every chakra has a different color, and every color is related to a part of our body, therefore some of the organs in our body and some of our emotions. So in my process, in my journey, I discovered that there is a correlation to the kind of colors that you feel attracted to and the kind of colors that you actually shy away from, because they all relate to your emotions and your energy and how you feel. And there is a reason why you're attracted to some other than others. So the first time that I discovered this was when I went to do an aura reading in 2016. I had no idea what that was. I don't think I had heard talking about auras, and I had no idea they had a color. So I knew nothing basically. And I remember that the lady that was doing the reading started to tell me things about how I was feeling and how I was as a person in terms of character, in terms of energy, and in terms of um, mind and things like that. And I remember that I was really much like attracted to this. I just loved that she could see a color around me. So for who doesn't know, auras are energetic. It's our energetic field, and we all have a color. They all. Some people have a color. So just imagine, for example, if you think about your body as if you have some sort of colorful aura around your body. The easy explanation the example that I can give you is like if you see when they talk about spiritual figures, they all have this white aura around them, around their body. So if you think about yourself, you could have a different color. For example, I know that mine is predominantly green. And this came up when I did the reading in 2016, but also last year. It can happen that you have a mix up of colors depending on what's going on with you at that moment and how you feel. So normally you can have a color that is just a pure color, or you can have a mixture because maybe you're having two opposite situations and those colors come up in your energy field, really. So the color is really a way to, for who is able to read the color of your aura, really shows your emotional, physical, spiritual well-being, and at what point are you, what state of mind and physical and spiritual and emotional are you at. And so someone that can read the aura can actually tell you if you're feeling sad, if there is something that worries you. I remember that when I did mine, it was pretty much, I think it was like a year after my dad passed away. So I wasn't in deep grieving anymore, but I was still grieving. and therefore I was still thinking about the whole situation. So she picked up on that. She didn't know me, she knew nothing about me. She also picked up on the fact that I was about to embark on something important, which was my decision to become a life coach. So we talked about what was going on in my life, and things that I wanted to achieve, and how I was feeling and why I was feeling in certain ways. But the reason why I talk to you about the aura is only because I want to talk to you about how colors are actually important in our lives and way more present in our life than we think we are. So in my coaching, when I coach with my clients, I tend to get them to use colors depending on what's going on with them, because colors really affect your mind and affect your mood and how you feel about certain things. So oftentimes the lack of certain colors can bring you to feel in a certain way rather than others, or having too much of the same color around can actually bring you to a negative. I'll give you a very simple example. Red is a color of people that are really courageous and ambitious, and it just really stimulates vitality. But at the same time, the negative side of red is that you're really angry, so you're really aggressive. So depending on what is going on with you, there can be a variety of situations where you feel more attracted to a color or another. So you know that, for example, the chakras have different colors. So red is the color of the root chakra, which is related to your origins and your family, and is based on the base of your body. And then as you go up, then it turns to green, to orange, and then yellow, and then green, and then blue, and then indigo, and then purple. So normally when you are attracted to a certain color, there is a reason why. So, you know, when you say, oh my God, I don't really like that color, or I don't feel like wearing that color, which is something that we don't think about it, but it normally happens a lot. That thing is actually a reflection of your energy and how you feel in that moment. One thing that I heard a lot of women saying is like, there is like this thing where either women love red or cannot wear red. And because red is a color that shows confidence, I do see how certain women are not so feeling so good and comfortable in wearing red. Red is the color that once you see it, I mean, like once you wear it, you see it. And therefore, there is a lot of other consequences if you're wearing red, and because normally people associate colors with a type of energy or a type of character. So we do that normally. But there is a actual psychology of color, because they affect our brain. Still staying into the red kind of color, because now I mentioned it, so it's just easier. But if you think about it, a lot of restaurants have red on their brand, because that red stimulates digestion, but at the same time it makes you feel hungry. If you're exposed to red too much, it makes you feel hungry. I remember when I was working in my previous office, the brand colors are black, gray, and red. And I felt so hungry all the time. I was like, what's wrong with me? And then I realized it was actually because I was constantly exposed to the red and I wasn't really realizing. And when I did, then I kind of made a point to really check in with myself and figure out if I was really hungry, or if I was just bored, or if there was something else going on, like the color was affecting me in some sort of way. And because of the kind of job that I was doing, and I was arguing a lot on the phone, because people would complain a lot. Of course, that combination was really powerful, because will want me to feel like always I needed to eat something. So obviously, colors can have a different effect on different people, because they match our energy, as I said earlier. So for example, my aura is green, and because there is like a correlation between the opposite colors, and I'm not going to go into this today, but it just for me to let you understand how we are impacted by colors. So think about which one is your favorite color. You might have one or two, and think about that. How do you feel when you see that color? Why are you attracted to it? Like, what is the feeling that you have? I know for me, since I was a child, I was really much attracted to purple and to magenta. Not pink as like baby pink, but that more brighter kind of pink, like the shocking pink. Um, and I always been attracted to bright colors. They just made me happy. I remember that when I was in my 20s and I was working in the first advertising agency, a lot of people will say to me, so I would have these colorful dresses, and I would wear the same matching eyeshadow. So I was a full-on color. And I remember some older colleagues of mine will be like, "Oh, Mar, why don't you wear something smarter?" Not because I had to. I was working in the advertising agencies, so we were pretty cool on you didn't have to wear a certain kind of clothes. It was very free to the way you could dress up. But I remember like, "Oh, you're always so colorful. Maybe you should wear more brown and more beige and more." And I was like, "Nah, that's not for me." I just had this thing for which colors would make me feel good. And it's like, if you're meteoropathic, the sun makes you feel better than the rain. And I live in London and I miss that. So I compensate on that with bright colors. But I know that a lot of people cannot actually wear bright color. They're not attracted at all to bright color. I'll go into that in a little bit. So I'm gonna tell you the story how I chose my brand colors, for example. So if you talk to brand analysts and brand strategists and graphic designers, they're all going to talk to you about the color palette. And if I had to look at the color palette, yes, there were color palette that I actually like, but I just didn't relate that much to them because I knew that I wanted to have pink and purple in there. I didn't want it to be too girly. I didn't want it to be too childish at the same time, but I kind of knew I wanted that colors. And then in my study of color therapy, I came about this book, which is actually The Color of the Soul, which is a book from Jean McLeod, and I hope I said it right. In her book, she talks about the karma graphic, and the karma graphic basically links colors and their meaning to numbers. So basically, it's numerology and color therapy mixed together. If you probably know that every number has a meaning, and there is like they have properties and they affect us in some kind of ways. If you want to know more about numerology, I know something, but I have actually, you want to go back to episode where Novali Wilder, she is a numerologist, and we talk about numerology and how numbers affect us in a lot of different ways. So in the karma graphic, you basically have to use your date of birth and the numbers of your date of birth. So you have to come up with 4 numbers from the day to the month and the whole date. And so, for example, I am a number 8 if you sum up the whole of my date of birth. So the number 8 is related to the color magenta. And when I did the whole calculation, I realized that I had 2 number 8, 1 number 2, and 1 number 7, which 7 is my month, the month I was born in, which is July. So I realized that actually the color matching my numbers were magenta and orange for the number 2 and purple for the number 7. And I was like, what a surprise. So I was very happy that those were my colors because I love them together, and I feel they represent me to the fullest. But what surprised me even more was to realize what they meant together. So what was the meaning of each single color, which I thought was exactly related to my personality, my ambitions, what I want in life, what do I look for, what I'm seeking for on a spiritual level or on an emotional level, and a lot of traits of my personality. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So this is the reason why I always look for what is your favorite color, because colors tell so much about yourself, and you can help yourself working with that, because every color is also related to a lot of the emotions that you're going through. And so with that, you can move forward. And I found that my clients found this way of working much more fun that it would be like normal practices. Like I use a lot of different things depending on the person, but I find the color actually it kind of propels you to wanting to have fun while you're actually doing a lot of inner work that might not be so fun at times. And so this is the reason why I try to figure out what colors you might need. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you another example just because it's easier for me to do that. So I remember that when I had my actual, the first paying client that I ever had after I finished my course and I did all the pro bono clients was a guy. And I had already decided to be an intuitive and creative coach. And I wasn't really focusing on working with just women. At the time when I just finished, my idea was to be a coach for creative people. Now, obviously, when you start coaching, you might just get whoever comes to you. And so this guy was I was suggested to this guy by a friend. So we started coaching, and we were working a lot on guilt for him. He had this guilt for food because he used to be overweight, and he had to work a lot to get to the shape he was in. So he didn't want to sleep and maybe get back to be overweight with all the health issues that he was having before. And there was also guilt, emotional guilt for a sort of behavior that he had had in the past that he was also afraid to slip back into. And so all of the work that we were doing was on releasing guilt. But because he was a kind of person that he wasn't very much accepting of change. He was that kind of person that doesn't like change unless it's a change that he has asked for and he has been able to plan all the steps. And therefore, once the change happens, it's kind of prepared on how to deal with it. And therefore, you see and you feel there is a lot of stiffness and a lot of resistance in that. So towards the end of the series of coaching, which was I think it was 6 months, I started to ask him, once we uncover some of the issues and the reasons why he was doing what he was doing, what he was feeling the way he was feeling. It was also at a point where he was building up this new business, and he had to get investors and create a team and get clients. So it was in this situation which was very creative. But at the same time, guilt also is related to the third chakra. So it was amazing because there was such a resistance within him, which was palpable for me, but at the same time you could see from what was going on in his life. So he had this guilt, and he had this new opportunity and creative business to put in and to build. So he wanted to be to speed up the process, but he felt pulled by something, and therefore and that was the guilt. So guilt is an emotion that is stored in our third chakra, and the personal power is there, and you also have the creativity there. So you see how those two things get against each other. And so towards the end, after it released a lot of fear and a lot of emotions that were related to the past, I managed to get him to cook colorful food, because he used to like cooking with his wife, and we discovered that he used to play an instrument. So I got him to be creative in cooking orange food and orange yellow food, and really smell and feel the color. And because the color can be seen but can also be felt, like with music, for example. So there is a correlation between our senses as well and the colors. Everybody's very much different, but you can actually feel a color based on how you smell it or how you listen to the music and all that. And I'm pretty sure you can relate. Like if you close your eyes and you listen to the music, you can easily decide what color is that music. It's just a matter of really allowing yourself to tune into yourself, and let your body take you somewhere as opposite to your mind. So after we did that, he came back, and he was very happy, because that helped him release a lot of guilt and fear that was still hanging around there. And he realized how that made him switch, and he started to have a lot of ideas on how to come about what he wanted to do, and things like that, and kind of like opened up some channels that he didn't think would actually open up for him. So it was amazing to see the transformation that he had. And this happens to a lot of clients that I have. And I know this is something that surprises a lot of people, because we don't really think about it. So for example, people that wear a lot of red or a lot of black, there can be two different reasons. One is because they normally it's people that don't really like change, and don't really like having people on the way or their journey. So like having obstacles. So they kind of people that like to plan, prepare, and make sure that they get from A to Z as they decided. So they don't like obstacle and unplanned stuff and things like that. Or there is another reason: energetically you are in a low vibration. This is very common if you think about funeral in some cultures. For example, I'm Italian, as you know, and especially in the south of Italy, once you were mourning something, you will wear black. Back in the old days, this was your color forever, especially if you lost your husband. So if you go to the south of Italy, it's very much likely that you're still going to see old women dressed completely in black every single day, because it's a form of respect, and it's just a way to say, look, I've lost my husband. So even if it's been 20 years, I think now things have changed, but there is a power into that color. There is a protection into that color. And I never really understood that until that happened to me. As a bright person color, someone that always looks for the brightest color ever, dresses with the brightest color ever. When I was mourning my dad passing away for a year or two, maybe a year, I could not wear bright colors. So I had to kind of change all the clothes that I had, and I started to buy a lot of black and blue and brown and dark green and dark red because I really couldn't wear what I had in my wardrobe. There was no way I was going to wear red or magenta or yellow or any other color that I had. That was way too much. And this is because black is also a color that protects you. And so there are a lot of different reasons why you might be attracted to a color or another. So every color has a positive and a negative. Too much of something or too less if you are imbalanced, can actually have an effect on you, an impact on you that is positive or negative. And this is why when I coach my clients, I normally check in on color situation because every emotion is related to it. So for example, let's just give you a little bit of an indication, for example. So if you, let's talk about green. Green is a color that helps with the respiratory system. And right now we need it so much. So if you have a lot of plants, or that helps because it cleanses, and it's a color that purifies and helps you combat the germs. So you might want to be surrounded by green. And this is the reason why plants and nature is very important. If you do meditation, for example, you can do a meditation where you are surrounded and embraced by this green light. And this is going to help you to relax and breathe better. Meditation will help you anyway to breathe better, even if you're struggling. So if you can, and if you're able, just imagine to be surrounded by this green light that will help your respiratory system and will help to release and combat all the germs that you have in your system. So green also is a color that suits your mind. I don't know if that happens to you, but as soon as I walk into the park, or like, for example, I was sitting just aside earlier, and now, as you know, we are in lockdown, haven't been out for 3 weeks, aside from going to the grocery shop very quickly. And I miss going to the park and having my walks and moving my body and just stay immersed in nature. But luckily I could stay outside here today, and it just feels really relaxing. So maybe that happens to you too. So if you cannot go out, that's okay. Just imagine to be maybe in a forest or somewhere where lying down on a meadow, whatever works for you. You can look at a picture and then believe that you are in that kind of place, because that will help you to feel more relaxed and to feel rejuvenated, because this is the power of the color green as well. And it's also a color that helps you against greed and jealousy. So if there is someone around you that is a little bit greedy and jealous, just use a little bit of green, and that will help you. And as I said, this is related to the heart chakra, and the heart chakra, and the property of the heart chakra is like wanting to be surrounded by harmony and balance, and stimulates inner peace. So this is probably something that we were looking for now. So doing a meditation using the green, wear green if you have it, cook green food, just look at green colors, will help you feel better. And so this is normally used by people chosen by people that are looking for peace and hope and harmony, as I said. And it's very much avoided by people that are a little bit egoistic and they want things for themselves. People that are greedy, jealous, will shy away from this color because it promotes the opposite of what they are. Let's talk about blue. Blue is the color of the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is here, and it's your personal expression, like your communication. And this is a color that helps to feel calm. So blue, for example, is a color that helps you with fever. So if you have fever, blue is a color that will lower the level of your fever, and is an antiseptic and reduces inflammation. And it's right the opposite of red, which actually causes and raises inflammation. And so it's a calming color, and it helps if you are meditating and if you want to have a clear mind. So you can meditate on the blue, and it's the color of communication, your self-expression. So if you feel that you have been told that you cannot share your message because you have nothing to share, you might have an imbalance on your throat chakra. So if you're having some sore throat or problems in here, there might be something that is blocking you from being you, and maybe someone told you something when you were little, or you don't feel you can be yourself. So there is an imbalance there. And so it's chosen by people that want to feel that are actually calm and practical, and they think a lot. And it's avoided by people that I have a clear idea how their life is going to be. They don't want any interruption, and they don't want to be thrown off course. They're very single-minded. So this is just to give you an idea. I'm not going to go into all the properties of all the colors, but is really just to show you how we are all affected by so many different things. But colors really can help you and heal you, and it's just a fun, different way to see things. And everything and everybody is obviously different. Colors are within us in different ways. They change because we change how we feel, we change because of what happens to us. And so working with the chakras is actually a really good way to heal and help yourself to move forward in your career and your life, whatever it is that you're looking for to improve and be better. And so everybody is very different. So the way I work with people depends on the energy of the person. But it's just to say, be very intentional and aware of what's going on with you. For example, if you have a physical pain, you can try to heal yourself using the power of yourself, right? So let's try to do it together. So if you take a deep breath in and out, and if you do this for 3 times, and then you close your eyes, and if you feel to do it a little bit more, go ahead. And then feel your body. So scan your body from the bottom to the top. And if there is a physical pain popping up, figure out how that pain is made. So how is that pain for you? What color does it have? And how do you see it? How is it structured? How, like, if you could touch it, how would it feel? And does it have a particular fabric, or what kind of material is it made of? I know it sounds silly, but if you can actually give a form and a color to your pain and kind of like remove it from your body and make it become something that actually has an entity by itself, then you can actually also help yourself to dissolve it. And I want you to also look at it after you have created this new entity, and you know how it looks like, what color it is, how does it feel, how do you feel when you look at it, what is the feeling that you have within you, what is it causing you? Because this is a way to see where your pain is related to your emotions. And once you know how your pain is related to your emotions, then you can also release the pain and release the emotion and move forward in your life. Because all the pain that we have in our body comes from an emotion that is trapped in our body. And so with the help of colors and with the help of yourself, you can actually help yourself to heal and move forward, to heal on a physical level, to heal on an emotional level, and also an energetic level, because surely the part of your body is going to change color, because you're going to release something in that part of your body that was stopping you before and was keeping you stuck. So once you've done that, I would suggest you write down everything. And if there is an emotion that is surfacing to you and it's too painful, you feel you cannot cope with it, maybe is bringing back old memories and you don't want to go there, just write down and do what you can. If you feel you need to stop, and then go back to it, because clearly that is an emotion that you need to release, and the pain is also going to be released. Now, I'm not saying not to go to the doctor. I'm not saying this is the way to do it. This is something that will help you. If obviously you have a chronic pain, you might need to look elsewhere. But this is a good way for you to really understand what's going on with you and help yourself. So if you want to know more about this, just stick with me on Instagram, because I'm going to be talking more about this. Or if you want to have a session with me, I do have session like healing sessions, which really talk about this. It's we talk about what's going on with you emotionally and physically, and then we figure out how to help you. So, and of course I will be using the color and crystals and a lot of other intuitive practices that if you've been following me, you know I do. But I will be talking to you about everything that we do. And so just for you to know, you can book in a free consultation just to figure out how it is to actually talk to me and work with me. And if we actually relate and you feel like I'm the right person, and just go to my website and theintuitionqueen.com, and you can just either click on the button get in touch, or you can email me hello@theintuitionqueen.com, and I will come back to you, or you can message me from Instagram, however it feels right for you. And I offer either healing sessions like one-by-one emotional and physical healing. We can look into it and see how to do that, and also have a coaching program which lasts 4 months, and we can look through whatever is going on with you. And if you're having issues in your career, you feel that nudge that you want to be more, you want to do more, I can help you with that. And this is what I do, because I've been through this and I know what it feels to feel stuck and to feel not appreciated, and I know what it feels to have my own business and share my message in the best way possible. It's something that makes me feel happy, fulfilled, and I love helping my clients to finally see who they are and how powerful they are. I want this for you, and I want this for all women. We will have a beautiful, amazing power, and the problem is that we all forget about it because of whatever happens to us, and our mind plays games with us. But once we allow ourselves to be who we really are, oh my God, you will see it from yourself. It's just going to be another life, another person. So if you want to get in touch with me, just go to my website or email me hello@theintuitionqueen.com, and we can talk about it and discuss whatever it is the right thing for you. Otherwise, if you just want to continue follow me, just please share, subscribe, and make comments on my podcast. Let me know what you think about this episode or other episodes. I am trying to bring over women for you that can help you, give you insights and move you forward in your life. However, it resonates with you. You can follow me on Instagram at the Intuition Queen, and that's where I'm most active. And otherwise, you can see me on Facebook and LinkedIn, but really the place for me to see me is Instagram. So Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'd love to hear your comments and know if this episode about the colors has helped you in any kind of way. And if not, I'll see you next week. Mwah.
Your
Ciao, grazie.
future's at the door.